closely. He was actually one of our company's first clients. And he called up, had just stepped out of the meeting, and said, you know what, Atlantic needs a game. Here's the head coach's number, call him. So I called him, he told me what was going on, did some research, and saw Columbia also had the need on this weekend. Hooked up the coaches together, and the next thing you know, they shook hands, and we have very happy clients all around now. We work with all 4 teams, so everybody's happy. We're happy. We're happy to help. Our company is used by over 250 teams nationwide, but we're most valuable in crisis situations. When people are canceled on, games are needed at the last minute. I get calls all the time from all over the country. Same thing happened with St. Francis earlier in the year. St. Francis, with St. Joe's. St. Joe's from New Jersey, they called me up and said, a team had canceled on them at the last minute. So I checked out, we keep a master database of all the games that are needed by all the top teams in America. So St. Joe's said, hey, I need a game. This team just canceled on me. Who do you got? And we had St. Francis available. So, from all our hard work, we had St. Francis visiting St. Joe's. We have IMG, St. Francis. We have Columbia Atlantic. At the end, everybody wins, especially the fans.
Most definitely. And I'm hoping that this is the first of many PGL related games set up for Columbia moving forward.
Yeah, let's hope. We have a void in that area of Florida. There's a lot of teams from around the country who want to visit Florida. Sometimes they can't get to South Florida, but where Columbia's located, it's a void in our client list. So anybody who wants to venture down there, whether it's by bus or by air, it's a great addition to our client list. And obviously, from this point on, the non out of region, out of state games will be better and better each year. That's our goal, anyway.
For sure. I believe I'm not sure if Trinity was a client as well, but I do notice that those Columbia and Trinity are probably 2 of the teams that probably have the most struggle trying to schedule games from this area.
Yeah, no, Trinity Christian, we know Coach very well, Coach Dormany. He contacts us at the beginning of every season, or when he knows when his schedule's coming out, and he lets us know, hey, I need games these weeks, and I'll never forget it. He sent me an email last year, and he had 5 openings. Most teams don't have that many. I would say IMG, St. Francis, St. John's from Washington, D.C., those teams have 4 to 6, at least out of region games a year. They're our busiest clients, but to get that email from Coach Dormany and Trinity Christian, we were able to help them out. You can see, if you look at their schedule now, they had one of the toughest schedules in the state of Florida. They don't run away from anybody. They just want to play the best, and that's why we work well together.
Yeah, I can say I definitely respect Trinity for being one of those few teams in North Florida that really they'll play anyone that makes a phone call to them.
Yeah, they just played Colquitt County, which is was set up by our company. That's another good story. Colquitt County was originally supposed to host East St. Louis last weekend, East St. Louis, Illinois. Something happened. East St. Louis had to bail. So I get the call from the Colquitt AD, who I'm friendly with, Tick. And when people call me, I have a master database of all the top 250 teams in America and what weeks they're open. It just so happened that Trinity Christian was open, connected to 2 parties. Next thing you know, the deal was done. So that's why we exist, to make a difference in the world of high school football and help these teams in their times of crisis.
For sure. With St. Francis, I believe they played Venice earlier this year in Florida. Like, do they normally having major needs to travel for these games?
Yeah, I mean, like any other team, the better a team does, they are to schedule, less people want to play you, the better you're doing. This started way back in the 2000s with Don Bosco when they were out of New Jersey. They were killing everybody in the state. The public schools in the state said, we're not playing you anymore, so they were forced to go out of state. The better you do, you ask any AD, the better, no matter where you are around the country, the better you do, the higher profile you get, the more nationally recognized games you win, the harder it is to schedule. So, last year, St. Francis just got screwed. I mean, their conference bailed on them. Their conference said, we don't want to play you anymore a month before the season was going to start, which is total BS. So obviously I got that call, and we helped them out as best we could given the circumstances. It's hard at that time of the year. We're talking about like June, when somebody thought they had a full schedule, now all of a sudden they need 5 games. We did what we could to help them out. This year it's been a little easier. If you look at St. Francis' schedule this year, they started at Miami Central, won big, won 49-13. They got Simeon out of Chicago to visit Baltimore, shut them out 55-0. They had American Collegiate Academy from Clearwater visit Baltimore, shut them out 64-0. Went on the road to the Prep Gridiron Logistics sponsored Trinity League versus USA, where they lost to Mater Dei by 16, 34-18. Hosted Norland from Miami, shut them out 49-0. Came to New Jersey, beat St. Joe's, number 1 team in New Jersey, 28-0. Then, that game was on a Saturday. The following Thursday, they're on a plane going to Venice, where they won 49-7. Last weekend, they had their first bye. So, I mean, think about it. I mean, they're playing like an NFL, weekly schedule here. I mean, it's
impressive.
Literally, how many games? 7. They're what are they now? They're 6-1. So 6 straight weeks without a break, and playing and a lot of traveling. Other than St. John's College, which probably traveled a little bit more than St. Francis, that's a lot of miles to log. And if you look at what they're doing to these top-notch teams, they've given up literally, in the last 3 games, they've given up 7 points total. So they're on a roll right now, and looking forward to hosting IMG Friday night at 7.
For sure. And quickly, I'll hit back on the Columbia Atlanta topic. Obviously, Columbia did not have the best of games last Friday, as I mentioned earlier in the show. Though I feel like this could be a potential bounce-back game for them. And really, after the way they played early on last week, they definitely have a lot to prove going to this game against the number 1 team in Palm Beach County. I feel like Columbia does get the bounce back for this week.
You didn't expect that. I'm sure they were doing well. They were cruising along. I don't know. I didn't see the replay of the game. I don't know if they were caught by surprise. I know they did make several mistakes that they'll learn from. So if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd certainly put my money on Columbia this weekend to right the wrongs from the prior week.
All right. And as I mentioned, we talked a little bit before we went on the show about the rankings and stuff. So I'll just go right down the list on that. For this, I'll just go through the top 25, obviously. For anyone that wants to see the full rankings, just check out our Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook page, because we posted all 3. Number 1, I have Lakeland. Number 2, Aquinas. Number 3, Armwood. Number 4, South Dade. Number 5, Deerfield Beach. Number 6, Miami Washington. Number 7, Miami Northwestern. Number 8, Miami Central. Number 9, Edgewater. Number 10, American Heritage Plantation. Number 11, Rockledge. Number 12, Cocoa. Number 13, Gulliver Prep. Number 14, Chaminade. Number 15, Bartram Trail. Number 16, Miami Palmetto. Number 17, Jones. Number 18, Sanford Seminole. Number 19, Naples. Number 20, Palmetto. Number 21, Vero Beach. Number 22, Cardinal Gibbons. Number 23, Columbia. Number 24, Atlanta Del Rey. And number 25, U School. I know I definitely had some people asking me, gee, you dropped Columbia harder than pretty much everyone else did in their poll. But I do feel like they can still rebound from that. I dropped them the way I did just so no one can accuse me of being biased in my poll.
That's smart. That's smart. They weren't expected to lose that game, and they should suffer for it. But they still have time to work their way up to the top 20, 15, come playoff time.
Is there any question marks that you had? I know you mentioned one before on the before we went live with the show, but I was curious if you had any others besides that one.
The one that I won that's glaring to me is, I'm the type of guy, I like to reward people for challenging themselves. So if this was my poll, I would have Aquinas number 1, Lakeland 2. Lakeland, who will eventually later in the year, Lakeland is better than Aquinas because they're probably going to end up playing each other. But I would have St. Thomas at number 1 just because they've gone out and challenged themselves. They scheduled Bergen Catholic. Game didn't happen because of hurricane that canceled the game. But they went out and beat one of the biggest high school football brand names in America, De La Salle. Went out there, beat them at home convincingly. It was a close game for about a half, but it was opened up. Some will say a really bad ref call turned the game around on a fumble call. But, the fact that Aquinas went out there and won, I'd have them number 1 right now. And then if Lakeland beats them later in the year, fine, they could switch spots. But other than that, Aquinas, Lakeland, I like Arwood, South Day, Deerfield, another one of our clients. We'd love to see our clients in your top 10. There's a lot of them there. But no, I think it looks good. I know, I'm trying to think, Rockledge. Rockledge is Rockledge the team, remind me, who went out and lost recently to,
that was the team that lost, that's the team that lost up in Ohio to St. Ignatius.
Right, St. Ignatius. I saw that game for a little bit. I was surprised that game wasn't actually closer. I thought, Ignatius was coming off one of the worst losses in history. They lost to a team from Canada. And then they were playing Edgewater the following week, and I thought for sure Edgewater would beat them. But, they pretty much, took care of them without a problem. So Edgewater's looking good. Rockledge is looking good. Cocoa as always. Chaminade Madonna, I like it, 14. Jones, one of my very close friends, coaches at Johns Creek down in Georgia, Matt Helmer. He was an assistant at St. Thomas Aquinas, and he played Jones. PGL got him a game versus Jones early in the season, and he raved about how good they were. So look for big things from Jones as the season goes on. But I like Cardinal Gibbons doing well after rebounding from an opening week real shocker where they were shut out. It's all good. It looks good. Like I said, the only thing I would change, I'd give Aquinas. I'd have Aquinas 1, Lakeland 2. Other than that, I think it's a quality poll.
For the thing, I understand definitely I understand for the people that want to have Aquinas at number 1. But I know for me, I had Lakeland. I had them starting the preseason at number 1, and it's almost like that feeling like most teams I can justify in some cases flipping teams throughout the poll. But when it comes to the number 1 team, that I literally think all off season who I'm gonna put number 1. The moment I make that decision, it's almost as if I personally feel that if they don't lose, I just can't realistically see myself dropping them off that spot. And Lakeland, even though they haven't played the best of schedule, they've pretty much been